Your body is your business card to the world. It is an instant statement that says, well, here's my value. Here's where I show value. Do I value dedication? Do I value discipline? Do I value doing the work? Do I value showing up and doing what's required, regardless of how easy it is? These are the questions that get answered instantly with your physique. And obviously there are degrees of fitness. But if you're fat, it's instantly that I will choose instant gratification over looking after my health. I will choose simple and easy and what's fun for me in the moment over, well, looking after who I am, the vessel that provides everything that is in my life. And I've stated many times, I think this is even more important if you're a father. Because, well, you're setting the fucking standard. But this notion that, well, the dad bod and all these kinds of things is acceptable. That it's what's in and it's cool and all this kind of stuff is a lie told by people who want to feel better about themselves for not doing the work, for not being disciplined, for not showing the fuck up and doing what's required. That's the reality of it. And especially when, the dad bod gets blown out to, well, basically just being fucking fat. Like, let's be realistic here. For a lot of people, it's just, well, I'm fat, but I'm cute and cuddly. Are you? Is that what we're going with? That you're cute and cuddly, and that's what people want. No, it's a cop-out and an opt-out of, well, showing discipline and grit and determination and showing up the way you should. Showing up to be the greatest version of yourself. It's showing that you will choose sedation and easy over this. And I had this one that was brought up to me in my life. So we went out for dinner with a couple of couples. Side note, and I'm happy to be fact-checked on this, but I was told that, did you know that a couple is not 2? A couple can be all the way up to 4? That fucked with my head a bit. Anyway, that's a side tangent. Someone fact-checked me on that, I wouldn't be upset. Anyway, so we went out as a group, and everybody there is a couple. We all have kids, all that kind of stuff. One of the couples used to parade themselves around, and this is using their terminology, not mine, as the hot couple. And especially the husband in the relationship was always skinny. He was never fit, he was never healthy, but he was skinny. And he's a good looking dude on top of that, so they were the quote unquote hot couple. Anyway, 30s hit. And just genetics were no longer cutting that shit. That shit was not gonna fly anymore. And so he's packed it on. Absolutely packed it on. And within this group, it is one of those things that everybody takes great joy in. And to be honest, not my cup of tea. I don't mock people for making poor choices. I'm more about holding up the mirror. But because he used to mock a couple of the other guys in this group for being fat, they think it's the greatest thing ever because now he's fat. To the point where, and I don't think I've ever witnessed this before, the waiter made not one but 2 comments on the size of this guy. Because he ordered some extra entrees that were separate to our meals, and the waiter thought it was for the kids, and he was like, oh no, it's for me. And the waiter turns to him and goes, of course it is, big boy, I can see why. And then later on, brought back stuff, and he's like, I'll put this one right in front of you, big boy, so that you can reach it easier. So, anyway, as we progress, later on they get to, because this is now the topic of one of the dinner, is, getting fat, dad bods, all this kind of stuff. And so the guys are having the chat and about how the dad bod's in, and it's fine that they're getting fat and they're getting chunky because that's what's in at the moment. So they're just on trend and they're sexy. And it's a lot of bravado joking and also a lot of hiding behind that we're joking but actually telling the truth. That they're trying to cover up that they don't like it, but it's much easier to say things that you're on trend, to say things that, oh, well, see, I'm with the times, than it is to actually admit that you don't fucking like who you see in the mirror. And as they're having this discussion about how it's fine, that they're not concerned about it, that girls dig it and all this kind of stuff, there are glances and hushed conversations going on between their wives about how fucking untrue it is. And how they're not pleased about this situation, how it isn't sexy. And it becomes this one of, well, nobody looks at someone who's overweight and goes, yeah, you did a great fucking job. Good on you. Look, if you aren't into absolutely jacked out of your mind, fair enough, I get it. Like, I do understand that going for that bodybuilder style, shredded to the nines, isn't everyone's cup of tea. But you at least need to be in good shape. You at least need to be strong, fit, and capable of doing anything. That means not having a fat stomach hanging over your waistband. That means doing the work that's required. It means just generally looking after your fucking self. Like an adult. Like, I can't believe how many times I have to have this conversation with people that just be an adult about it and not stuff your face. Like, it's not super complex shit. You just have to make adult decisions around being the best version of yourself. Yeah, I get it's really easy to eat whatever you want. It's really easy to drink whatever you want. It's really easy to sit on the couch and watch TV instead of working out, instead of going out and late nights and doing the work that's required. I get that that's much easier. But that's why we're not fucking children. It's also why we don't let children out into the world. We as adults, as parents, make decisions for them because their brain's not developed enough to make those decisions. But you now as an adult are making decisions like a fucking child. Choosing what's comfortable, what's easy, what you enjoy most over doing the work that is required to be the greatest version of you. Doing what is required for your family, for your kids, for those who care about you, so that you can show up as the greatest version of yourself. I don't know why this has to be a conversation. And look, I'm sure people will come out and be like, you're not in the most shredded shape possible. No, I'm fucking not. I'm not, and I'm working on it. I'm disappointed in myself every single day. But it doesn't mean I throw in the fucking towel and be like, oh, well, I'll just have a fucking dad bod. No, I've come from being, well, beyond what a dad bod would quote unquote be. I was just fat and disgusting and ashamed of myself, carrying around man tits and all that kind of shit. So I decided to be a fucking adult and do the work. And no, it wasn't easy. In fact, it was fucking hard as shit. But that's what was required. That was what was necessary to become the greatest version of myself. To step up and lead by example for my family. To be a walking example of what my kids will hopefully grow up to be. Because remember, you are your son's first hero and your daughter's first love. How you present in this world matters. How you show the fuck up matters. They're not going to do as you say, they're going to do as you do. They're little sponges, they're little mimicking sponges, and they will pick up on everything that you do. So if you instill great habits from the get-go around discipline, around doing the work, around showing up and doing what is required, regardless of your feelings, that is a really great place to begin with. And that is going to impart so much onto your kids. Like, I wish I'd learnt these skills when I was 10 or 15 and I'd grown up with these skills, not had to learn them at 30 and not have to build them and rebuild them and rebuild them. Because that's what it is. This is this constant redefining and re-refining these skills of discipline and grit and determination. There are days where I don't want to fucking bar. There are many days where I'm tired as shit and I don't want to do this stuff. But it gets done regardless because, well, that's what is required. That it gets fucking done. And that's where you need to get to too. That you need to stop passing it off as it's okay because, that's what's in at the moment. If you're a fucking lemming, would you run over the edge of the... Oh, that's actually a terrible example. But would you run over the edge of a cliff? Yes, lemmings follow each other and run off the edge of a cliff because they're fucking stupid. Just because everybody else does it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. It doesn't mean that that's what you should do. As we've discussed many times before, the bar is on the fucking floor at the moment. The level required to reach any form of greatness is so low. To show any form of discipline is so low. People can't fucking produce any form of discipline. They can't stop shoving food down their face. They can't exercise regularly. They cannot commit to doing something that's difficult and uncomfortable. And it shows. It just shows in every area of their life. It shows in so many areas of society that we have lost our way. We have lost the ability to show the fuck up and do what is required, regardless of our feelings. And it's something that we need to get back. And you as a father need to be that leading example, that shining beacon to your kids of what a man should look like, of how a man should show up. That he should have discipline, he should have grit, he should have determination. He should be able to be strong, fit, and capable and undertake anything his children want. He should be able to do those things. It baffles me that we have to have these conversations. It really, really baffles me. But here we are. So let's have those conversations. That you have a duty, an honor, an obligation to be the greatest version of yourself. You have a duty, an honor, and an obligation to show up every single day and demand greatness of yourself. Because that's what we were put on this earth to do. We weren't put on this earth to fucking exist. We weren't put on this earth to just slowly toddle towards death, just floating along on the river of life, just seeing what happens. No, we were here to demand greatness, to show the fuck up and to see what we are capable of. And most people don't even know they have potential, let alone scratch the surface of it. I don't believe I've even scratched the surface of my potential. And it's one I keep coming back to. I'm not claiming that I'm at the end goal. I'm not claiming that I have done it all, achieved it all. No, I have started the process. And I know that I have so much further to go. But I'm here in the trenches doing the fucking work. And I want to inspire you to do the same. I want you to show up as the man I know you can be. I want you to show up and demand your greatness. I want you to show up and be the man that your wife and your kids know that you can and should be. They might not say anything, but it doesn't mean they're okay with it. And you setting a standard will set the standard for everyone in your family. It'll make your wife rise. It'll make your children rise. It'll make your friends and family rise. It'll make those around you rise up. You will hold up a mirror to their inadequacy. You will hold up a mirror to the choices that they're making and they continue to make. As my wife said after the conversation, she was like, well, they can talk about how great their dad bod's all they fucking want. But when we go to the beach and you stand next to them with a six-pack and they stand there with their stomach hanging over their side, I know which one I'd rather have. They tell fucking lies. I'm telling you right now, they tell fucking lies. They don't want a dad bod. They just don't want to say it. They don't want you to be an obsessed douche monkey is part of it. They do want you to be in great shape. They do want you to show up. They do want you to fucking care about yourself and how you present and how you live in this world and how you show up in it. Not in a shallow way, but in a way that shows that you care about them. Because you being out of shape, You not looking after your health and fitness shows that you don't care enough. We've had this discussion as well. It is the biggest fucking FU to those who love and adore you, that you aren't willing to do the work to look after your health and fitness. It's literally saying that I would prefer to choose alcohol, drugs, junk food, whatever the fuck your vice is, over you. I would prefer to get my instant gratification, my dopamine hit, like a fucking crack monkey, pulling that lever to get the next hit. I would prefer that than to sacrifice now, to give up easy now for satisfaction and success long term. That is what you were saying. And it is the biggest fuck you to your family. Every time you make that decision. Every time you choose ease and comfort for yourself over being the greatest version of yourself for them. I cannot view it any other way. And as I said, I've been there. I've been that man. And I was fucking ashamed of it. I was ashamed and disgusted every single day. And it still took me 6 fucking goes to pull it together. 6 fucking attempts to pull my head out of my ass and actually follow through and do what is required. And there are still days where I feel like slipping back. There are still days where I want to backslide. There are still days where I don't want a fucking bar of this. Today is one of them. I will be honest, today is one of them. You know what happened? I got my shit done. You know what happened? I did it anyway. Because that's what men fucking do. They show up and get it done anyway. And that's where we need to get to. That we are leading by fucking example. That we are not failing our family by pretending that the dad bod is healthy, that the dad bod is sexy, that the dad bod is in. No, it's you choosing to be fucking lazy. And we need to let that fucking myth die. Choose your health and fitness. Choose to be the greatest version of yourself. Choose to show up and be capable of anything. That's what we are here for. Your children deserve it. Your wife deserves it. Your friends and family deserve it. Anyone who believes in you deserves the greatest version of you. And you cannot be the greatest version of you unless you look after your health and fitness first. You just can't be. You will be leaving it on the table if you are not making those choices every single day. It's time that you step the fuck up and start demanding greatness of yourself. Step the fuck up and demand better of yourself. To go out every single day and demand greatness. Push yourself. Pursue something great. Push yourself to see what you are capable of. What is it? I'm going to forget his name. The Stoic statement that, the greatest tragedy is for a man to go to his deathbed without ever knowing what his physical potential. Socrates, there we go. You need to have a crack at it. You need to go out there and figure it the fuck out. And what you'll find is that everything in your life will get better. Fitness is the gateway drug that will open up everything else in your life. It makes everything else better. And you'll find that you have a greater capacity for joy and happiness. You'll find that you find more satisfaction and fulfillment from your life because you show up daily and choose to do difficult things and fucking overcome. You fucking win and you dominate. And when you take on those tasks and you're not sure that you are capable of doing them, then you conquer them anyway. That is a feeling that is unmatched. And you will be leading by example, and you will be demonstrating for your children of what it is to lead a great life, to demand greatness of yourself. And I cannot think of a better way to spend my life than doing that. So if you're ready to step up, if you're ready to shed this lie of the dad bod and step into being the man that you know you should be, click the link in my bio, get into demanding greatness, and let's see who you can become. Let's see who you can become when you dedicate yourself to your health and fitness, when you do difficult things and you rise up and you overcome. You choose to be uncomfortable. You choose to sacrifice now for later. You choose to be that leader for your family. Let's see who you can be when you go all fucking in on yourself for your human potential. I know you are capable of so much more. I know you are, and you know it too. You might try to be hide away from it, but you fucking know it too. So now is your time. Click the link in my bio, get you into demanding greatness, and let's see who you can be on the other side of that. Can't wait to see you there.